lesson about friction, right? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year again.
Okay, so today is what day is today?
Today is
Today
Tuesday,
is Tuesday.
the 4th of January, 2022.
Okay, so today is Tuesday, the 4th of January, 2022. Okay, so let's sing a little bit more. Are you ready to sing?
Okay.
I need energy. Did you have your lunch already?
Okay.
Did you have your lunch already?
Yes.
Just sing. No need to share the screen. Okay.
Now, why, teacher? Why you don't say
You don't want to share the screen. Just
okay?
listen. Okay. When we walk to the left and we walk to the right and we walk and we walk and we walk all day with a heel and a two and a halfway around. With a heel and a two and a newfound friend. I want to
I
be your
want to be
friend a
okay.
little
I
bit
need to
more.
be more.
I want to
I
be
want
your
to be
friend a
okay.
little
I
bit
need to
more. I want to be your friend a little bit more. A
I
little
need
bit, a
to be
little
I
bit,
need
a
to be
little
I need
bit
to be
more. One
more.
more time, sing with me. When we walk to the
That
left and we
I
walk to
want
the
to
right
the
and we walk
and
and
walk
we
and
walk and
walk
we
and
walk all
walk
day.
all day.
Here and
I
two,
and
with a
I
heel
need
and a
to
two,
and
and a
down.
newfound
I want to be
friend
more,
a
a
little
little
bit
bit
more.
more.
I want
I
to
want
be
to
your
be
friend a
a
little
little
bit
bit
more.
more.
I
I
want to be
want
your
to be
friend a
a
little bit
little bit
more.
more.
A
A
little
little
bit, a little bit, a little bit more. How about if we sing I'm alive, alert, awake?
I alert away.
Okay, ready? I'm alive, alert, awake. I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic.
I'm
I'm alive,
alright,
alert,
alert away.
enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake.
Enthusiastic.
Again, faster. I'm
I'm
alive, alert, awake,
alert away.
enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
I'm
I'm
alive, alert,
alert
awake,
away.
enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
I'm alive, alert, alert,
Away,
alive,
alert,
I'm alive,
alert,
alert.
alert, enthusiastic.
Very fast. Let's do it very fast. Alert, awake,
Alert away.
enthusiastic. I'm alive, alert, awake,
Alert away.
enthusiastic. I'm
Enthusiastic.
alive, alert, awake,
Alert
enthusiastic.
away.
I'm
Alert,
alive,
alert,
alert, awake.
enthusiastic.
How about COVID-19 go away? Omicron go away.
Okay.
COVID-19 go away, never come back on our way. Little children, what's to pray? COVID-19 go away. COVID-19 go away, never come back on our way. Little children, what's to pray? COVID-19 go away.
Okay.
COVID-19 Omicron go away. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's review first our lesson about forces and friction. Okay, let's have a review.
We're going to learn what is a force, how do forces combine, how does friction affect motion. Okay, so what is force? What is a force?
In science, a force is a push or a pull. Or forces have two properties,
Property,
properties,
direction,
direction and size.
and
A
size.
Newton
One,
is the unit that describes the
describe
size of a
the
force.
size of a force. Okay, so when we say force in science, it is a push and pull,
Pull.
or push or pull. All forces have two properties, the direction and
Size.
size. So we use Newton to describe the size of a
Force.
force, or the abbreviation of Newton is letter N, big N.
Big.
What is a force? Okay, read. The student
The
is
student is pushing down
pushing
on
down
the
on
chair,
the chair, but
but
the
the
chair
chair
does
does
not
not
move.
move.
okay.
The
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 floor
student
is
is pushing down on
black.
the chair, but the chair does not move. The floor
The
the
floor is
floor is
balancing
passing
the
in
force
the floor
by
is
pushing
pushing
on the
by
down
chair.
on the
pushing on
chair.
the chair.
Okay, so here on the picture, the student is sitting on the chair. A force of a person's weight pushing down on the chair. Force of floor pushing up on the chair. Okay? So meaning it's balance. Semay, the student doesn't move because it's balance. The weight of the person and the floor pushing the chair. How do forces combine? Okay, read more than
More than one force often acts on an
on an
object,
object.
or the
On the wall,
forces acting on an object are add
added
together
together
to de-
to determine
determine the
the
net
net
force
force
on
of
the
the
object.
object. An
An
object
object with a net force more than and
0 Newton
0 newtons
on
on it will change its state of motion.
of motion. Okay, so example is one. Okay, when forces are applied in the same direction, they are added to determine the size of the net force. So example, the piano. This is a piano, Shemay. So
Yes,
when the girl push the piano going to the right, and also the boy pulling the piano going to the right also. The same direction, Shemay.
yes,
The same direction. So you need to do it. All you need to do is add or minus.
add, add,
Okay. So you're going to add because it's in the same direction. 25 Newton plus 20 Newton is equal to 45
45
Newton
newton going to
going to
the
the
right,
right.
right.
Okay. So that's how to get the total force in Newton if they have the same, if they go the same direction. How about this one? Okay, let's read. When two
When
forces
two forces act in opposite direction, you subtract
you subtract
You subtract the smaller force from the
First,
larger force to determine
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 mean
the net force.
the net force
The net
will be
force will be in the same direction as the larger force.
okay. So, example, this one. Uh, there are two dogs. Okay, there are two dogs. The letter A dog is smaller than the letter B. Okay, the smaller dog pull 10 Newton and the bigger dog pull
12 Newton
12 Newton. So you're going to minus 12 minus 10 equals 2 Newton. Going to the left or going to the right?
going to the right.
Going to the right. Okay, meaning going to the bigger dog. Because bigger dog has greater force. Okay, subtract. Balance and unbalanced forces. When the forces on an object produce a net force of 0 Newton, the force are balanced. Okay, the force are balanced. There is no change in the motion of the object. When the net force of an object is not 0 Newton, the force of an object are unbalanced. Unbalanced force produce a change in motion of an object. So, unbalanced forces can result in movement of object. That's right. Let's dance now. Okay, now let's move to friction. What causes friction? Okay, let's read. Friction
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 is
is
the
the
force
force
that
that
opposites
opposite the move
the motion
the
between
motion
two
between two
surfaces
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 that
that has
touch
the
the
surface
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 of
of
any
any
object
object
is
is
rough.
rough.
Even
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 an
an
object
object
that
that
feels
feels
smooth
smooth
is
is
covered
covered with
tiny
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 hills,
hills and
hail and
valleys.
valleys.
valley.
The
The
contrast
contrast
The
between
contact
the
between the
hills
hill
of
for foliage
valleys
valley of valleys of
of two surfaces
causes them to
them
stick,
to sit
resulting in
resulting
friction.
in friction.
Okay. So when you say rough, rough fell alive. What's that
Crack.
sound? I can hear some sound. What's that music? Kitty cat. Kitty cat. What's kitty cat?
Hello with my
Okay. So let's continue.
thank you, teacher.
Okay. So when you say rough, rough pewa alive. Rough is the opposite of smooth.
ขรุขระ
Rough pewa alive.
ครุครุ
ขรุขระ
Okay, rough. The surface of any object is rough. Even an object that feels smooth is covered with tiny hills and valley. When you say hills and valley, look at this zoom picture. This is the hill and valleys. Okay, hills and valleys. When you see these two objects, example, this is a box and this is the floor. Okay, box and floor. There are two objects touched together. You see, you think that it is smooth, but when you see closer, you see hills and valley. Okay, hills and valley. The contact between the hills of valleys of two surfaces causes them to stick, resulting in friction. Friction แปลว่าอะไร? Friction แปลว่า What is friction in Thai?
ใครตอบได้บ้างคะ friction แปลว่าอะไรเอ่ย
แรงหรือเปล่าคะ
แรงอะไรเอ่ย
แรงเสียดทานค่ะ
แรงเสียดทานนะคะ แรงเสียดทานก็คือแรงที่มันมีทิศทางตรงกันข้ามเนาะมันจะตรงข้ามกับ flux ใช่ไหมคะ flux คือแรงใช่ไหม friction คือแรงเสียดทานมีทิศทางตรงกันข้ามนะคะ
Okay. Now you know what is friction. Friction แปลว่าอะไร?
แรงเสียดทาน
Okay, that causes the two objects to stick. Okay, so here we have two pictures. Okay, the amount of friction depends on the roughness of the surfaces. Force pushing the surface or surfaces together. So you see on this picture, what is this? What they're doing? They're doing skating? They're skating, ใช่ไหม?
Yes.
So meaning this surface is so smooth. Okay. So on the other picture, you can see the road. ใช่ไหม? The road. So on this, the surface of the road is rough. ใช่ไหม? Rough. So which one has more friction? The road or the gym? More friction.
Road.
More hills and valleys. More hills and valleys.
Road.
The road or okay, the road has more friction. Okay, the road has more friction compared to this first picture. It's very dangerous if the road is so smooth. ใช่ไหม? The car will slip. It will cause accident. ใช่ไหม? It will cause accident if there is no friction in the road. It should be rough. Okay. Types of friction. Okay, kinetic friction. Everybody read.
Kinetic friction occurs when force is applied to an object and the object moves.
Examples. Sliding
friction. Pushing an object
across
a surface.
Example, the first picture. The boy is sliding on the, what do you call for this one? Slide. Slide, ใช่ไหม? The boy is sliding on the slide. So that is what we call sliding friction. How about rolling friction? Rolling friction between
wheels and a surface.
Okay, on the other picture you can see this. Example, you're riding on a bicycle. Okay? The wheel of the bicycle is rolling, ใช่ไหม? That is ruling friction. Car, motorcycle, what else? Cart. Everything has wheel. Okay? That's ruling friction. Fluid friction.
Fluid friction. Opposite
Opposes
the motion of objects
object traveling through
traveling
a
through
fluid,
a fluid, air
air
or
or
water.
okay. Example of fluid friction is swimming. ใช่ไหม? Swimming between your body and the water. Also airplane. Okay, between the airplane and the air. Okay, so that's example of fluid friction. How about this one, static friction? Everybody read. Static
Static
friction
friction
Star friction
occurs when
occurs
force applied to an object
to an
does
object
not
does not
cause the object
cause
to
the
cause the object to
object
move.
Okay, when you say static friction, occurs when the force applied to an object does not cause the object to move. You see on the picture, the man is pushing the car, but the car is not moving. That is an example of static friction. ใช่ไหม? The man applied force to push the car, but the car doesn't move. Maybe the car is so heavy. He cannot push it, or he cannot let the car to move. Cannot move the car. Okay, affecting friction. To reduce
The amount of
of
friction
apply a
applied
lubricant between two surfaces.
between two surfaces.
Motor oil,
oil,
wax,
wax,
and grease
and grease
are examples.
Friction
Friction
can also be reduced by rolling
rather than
rather than pushing an object.
object. Okay, you see on the first picture, have you ever seen like this? Have you ever seen like this?
Yes.
Chai. We saw this one when our father or our parents putting on the car. ใช่ไหม? On the
Yes.
motorcycle, on the machine. Okay? This is an example of lubricant to reduce friction. Okay? To move in order for the machine to move smoothly, not rough. ใช่ไหม? To move softly. They put like this on the motorcycle, on the car, machine. Affecting friction. Okay. Friction increases as surfaces are made rougher. Rougher pewa alay? Rough pewa?
Crack.
Okay. More rough, more friction. Friction increases when the force between two objects is increased. Okay. Okay, so we're going to learn what is friction, the advantage and disadvantage of friction. Advantage. What is advantage? Advantage pewa alay. advantage
ข้อได้เปรียบ
ข้อได้เปรียบ
Okay, we're going to learn some advantages of friction and disadvantage.
ข้อเสียเปรียบ I'm thinking ข้อเสีย
Yeah. No,
this เป็น prefix ใช่ไหมคะ this มันแปลว่าไม่เนาะมันก็
Can you read?
ตรงข้ามอะเนาะ
ข้อ
ข้อ
เสี
ดี
ย
กับข้อเสียเนาะจ้ะ
ค่ะ
ข้อดีกับข้อเสียนะคะ advantage ก็คือข้อดีเนาะส่วน disadvantage ก็คือข้อเสียนะคะthis เป็น prefix เนาะมันอยู่ข้างตรงข้างหน้าก็ไม่นะ
Okay, so we're going to learn advantage and disadvantage of friction. What is friction? Okay, let's read again what is friction. Friction is a force that
is
acts
a force that acts in an opposite direction to movement.
direction to move. The force
The force
which always
always
possesses
opposes the motion of one object over another object in contact with it is called friction.
Friction. Okay. Box want to move in this direction. So example, if this box is being pushed going to the right, the friction will move going to the left. Opposite. ใช่ไหม Opposite. Okay, let's start. Advantages of friction. Okay, friction enables us to walk without slipping. Slipping แปลว่าอะไร Slipping not
ลื่น
slipping.
ลื่นหรือเปล่า
Slipping.
ลื่นถลาย
โอเค
ลื่นถลาย
Yes, you're correct.
ลื่น
ลื่น
Okay, so this is the advantage of friction. It is because of the friction between the sole of the shoe and the ground prevents us from slipping.
sleeping
Okay, so this is the advantage of friction. When you walk to the road, so road is rough, ใช่ไหม so you will not slip. Okay. While walking,
we push the ground backward
and the
and the force of friction
friction
acts
is
in the
in the
opposite
opposite
direction
direction.
for
and
Example, in the
forward direction and
and
prevents
prevent us
us from slipping
slipping
by making
making the
balance.
balance.
Okay, so example, look at this picture. Shoes. Stepping forward. Motion going to that direction, forward. And then the friction going to the opposite direction. Okay. That's the advantage of friction. We can walk easily. We can walk easily if the ground or if the floor is rough compared to the smooth surface. ใช่ไหมอันตราย sometimes it's dangerous when we walk to a very smooth surface we might slip and then bump our head on the ground
is dangerous.
right it's dangerous okay walking friction helps us to walk walking on slippery ground is difficult because friction on slippery ground is less due to which we may slip. Oh, example like this one on the picture. It looks funny, but it's dangerous, right? So meaning the surface of these pictures are less friction. Smooth. ใช่ไหม Smooth. Okay. 2. Read. Friction enables
Friction enables a car to move on road without skidding.
skidding. Okay. Also, not only walking, but also for the car. Okay. It is because
It is because of the friction between the types
the tires of the
tires
car,
of car
tires of
and
car
the road which enable
enable
car to move forward
for
without
without
skidding.
okay. When you say tires, this is the tire of the car. Tire แปลว่า
ล้อรถ
this one. Okay.
Law.
This is what we call tire. ใช่ไหม Tire wheel. Okay. So between tire and the road. Okay. So wheel turning, road pushing. So the friction is there. Enable the car to move forward. Skidding แปลว่าอะไร Skidding. Skid. Almost the same.
is same by sleep.
Yes, almost the same. If there were no friction, car would stay where it was. Okay? If there were no friction, car would stay where it was. It will not move forward. Okay, car moves due to friction. Okay, friction enables a car to move on road without skidding. It becomes sometimes difficult to drive and control car on wet road. ใช่ไหม? So that's why sometimes if it's raining, we should drive slowly, right? If the road
Yes.
is wet, if it's raining,
Yes.
now we drive motorcycle, bicycle,
Slow.
or car slowly. ใช่
Yes.
Because less friction because of the water.
Yes.
This is because of water present on the road reduces friction.
Friction. If ride so fast,
Right.
it will
It-
slip.
Yes, if we drive so fast, it
Dangerous.
will slip. Like this on the picture. It can cause accident. Friction, number 3. Everybody read.
Friction enables use
Enables
us to
us
write and draw on paper.
It is because
It is because of the friction between the tip of the pencil
of the
or
pencil
pen
or pen and
and
paper.
paper.
Carbon particles
Carbon
from the
particles
pencil
from the pencil
leads rubs
leaves
off
rubs off from it
from it
due
due to the
to
friction.
the friction which appears as
Here's
black
black mark
mark on the paper.
on the paper. Okay, so when we write, we use ball pen or pencil and paper. So there is a friction between the two, the paper and the pencil. That's why we can write, because the friction of the tip of the pencil. Okay, number 4. Friction
Friction and
enables
enable us to pick up
up
and hold
hold
things
things
in
in
our
our hand.
hands.
We can hold a glass,
We can hold a glass
tumbler
tumbler,
in our
tumbler
hand
in our hands because
because
of friction between the tumbler and
and
our
our
hand.
hands. Similarly,
Similarly, we can pick up the book laying
on the
on the
day
desk by
by
our
our
hands.
hand. Okay, so try to look at your hand. Look at your palm. It's not so smooth compared to our skin. Chimay, try to observe your hands.
Yes,
There are lines in our hand. It's a little bit rough compared to our skin. Chimay,
yes,
because we use our hand everything we do. We pick, we touch, everything.
me too.
Right? Try
Yes,
to imagine your hand is like your skin. You cannot hold, it's hard to hold glass. Right? It's
yes,
hard to hold things because it's so smooth. You might, what do you call for that? If you hold a glass and then there is no friction, you might feel down. The glass might feel down on your hand.
yes.
If there is no friction. Okay. Number 5.
Friction enables you us
A
to light a matchstick.
matchstick. A matchstick. Friction also produces heat. We rub matchstick against the rough side of the matchbox. Then friction between both of them produces heat. And this heat burns chemicals present at the head of matchsticks and it lights up. This one, match. This is the matchstick and this is the matchbox. Okay, friction produces also heat. Friction also produces heat and fire. Okay, disadvantage of friction. Okay, number 1, disadvantage แปลว่าอะไร?
ข้อเสีย
Okay, so number 1,
friction wears away the
soles of our shoes.
soles of our shoes.
When we walk,
When we walk on the road, tiny surfaces of the
shoe keeps
shoe
on breaking
keep
off
on breaking off slowly due
due to which
to which the sole
of our
of
shoes
our
wear
shoes wear out slowly.
slowly, due to which shoes get damaged and becomes unfit to wear. So example, try to look at the picture, the shoes. When we use our shoes every day on the rough surface, it will turn like this. See, Mai? Our
Yes.
shoes will turn like this. It will get damaged if we wear it every day. We use it every day due to friction. But when or if you use your shoes to a smooth surface, it will not get damaged easily. Okay, compare these two shoes. Look at this one and this one. Maybe this side is used in a soft surface. Shimai? And maybe this one also is used in a rough surface. More friction. This one. Okay. That is why our shoes, like rubber shoes, pump shoes, it has more spikes, right? It's thick.
Yes.
Now look at this one. Before, it looks like this. But when we use that one, if we use that every day, it will looks like this. It gets damaged due to friction. Okay. Number 2, tires,
Tires of ve-
vehicles,
vehicle wear out
only
gradually due to friction.
Okay, like the shoes, tiny particles of tires also break down due to friction when they run on the road. The same thing also happens with the bicycles. Okay, when our car, bicycle, motorcycle use every day, go anywhere, it will turn like this because of friction, due to friction.
I'm tired to read.
Same like this, same eh? Before and after. Before, after. Okay, friction wears out the brake pads of vehicles gradually. Brake pads. Brake pads is made of rubber. When the brakes of the vehicles are applied, a lot of friction is produced. Friction wears out the brake pads gradually. Okay, brakes. Do you know what is brake? Brake is very important in our bike, in every vehicle, like motorcycle, car. Brake. Brake แปลว่า
Brake.
Is it important?
Brake.
Important?
Yes.
Important. Very important. We use that one. It's very dangerous if we
It
don't
don't have.
it.
It's very dangerous.
Okay. Friction wears out steps of the staircases in building and foot over bridges. Okay. Friction slow down motion. Friction reduces the motion of the moving parts of machine. In fact, all the moving things such as cars, buses, airplanes, boats, ships, and etc. are slowed down by friction. Okay, any questions? Do you have any question about friction?
No.
No. Friction แปลว่าอะไร? What is friction in Thai?
แรงเสียดทาน
Okay. And that's it.